We made budgets constantly and broke them constantly. Every month started with motivation and ended with frustration. The apps, the spreadsheets, the envelopes, the strict rules, every single one. At one point, I honestly started believing budgeting just did not work for us. But the problem was never the budget itself. It was one habit underneath it, quietly ruining everything. And once we understood that and built a system around it, budgeting finally started working. Here is what trying and failing at budgets actually looks like. You start with motivation. Everything goes into the spreadsheet, every category, every number, and for a while, it holds. Then one thing goes wrong, an unexpected expense, a stressful week, an emotional purchase, and instead of adjusting, the whole system collapses. Then guilt enters, and eventually, you stop budgeting altogether. Not because you do not care, but because failing repeatedly becomes exhausting. The system we found is different, not because it is complicated, because it is built for real life, and because it addresses what was actually breaking the budget, not the numbers, the behavior underneath. I will show you exactly what that means in a moment. During our debt years, we tried every system we could find. And each time one failed, the guilt was not just financial. It felt like evidence. Evidence that we were not capable of managing money. I remember one month specifically. We had built what felt like a solid budget. Every category covered, every number assigned. And by week 2, it was already broken. Not because we had been reckless, because life happened, and the system had no way to absorb it. That was when I realized the problem was not us. It was the system. And more importantly, it was the habit the system was built on. Most budgeting systems fail for one reason. They are built on the assumption of a perfect month, fixed income, predictable expenses, no surprises. But real life is not a perfect month. And when a system is built for perfect, it shatters on contact with reality. But there is something even deeper than that. Most budgets only address numbers. They do not address behavior. And you cannot outbudget unexamined habits, because behavior always beats numbers, every time. So the failure is not yours. It is the system's, and the answer is not more discipline. It is a better system, built for how you actually behave. The system that finally worked for us had 2 key differences. First, it was built for imperfection. It expected things to go wrong, and it had a built-in way to handle them without the whole thing collapsing. Second, it addressed behavior, not just numbers. Before any non-essential purchase, we paused. That was it. Not complicated, not extreme. A pause, just enough time to ask, do I actually want this? Or do I just feel something right now? That pause interrupted emotional spending, and the system we built around it changed our finances permanently. Here is the system. 3 parts, simple enough to start this week. Part 1, the fixed layer. Every month has fixed costs: rent, essential bills, debt payments, savings transfer. These go out first, non-negotiable. Write them down, total them up. That is your fixed layer. Part 2, one flexible pot. Everything else, food, transport, personal spending, goes into a single flexible pot. Not 10 categories, one pot. You spend from it until it is gone. And this is the step most systems skip, which is exactly why they fail. They create so many categories that breaking one feels like breaking everything. One flexible pot keeps the whole system standing, even when one area goes over. Part 3, the pause and review. Once a week, 10 minutes. Before you spend anything non-essential that week, pause and ask, was this planned? Then look at what happened the week before. Adjust the flexible pot if needed. That is it. Fixed layer first. One flexible pot. weekly pause and review. Built for real life, built for real behavior. When we switched to this system, budgeting stopped feeling restrictive because the system did not punish us when life happened. It just asked us to adjust. And adjusting felt manageable, not like failure, like maintenance. We stopped dreading the budget conversation. And for the first time ever, we kept using the same system month after month. Proverbs 14:8 says, "The wisdom of the prudent is to give thought to their ways." Give thought, pause, notice, consider. That is wisdom. Not reacting instantly to every feeling or impulse. Wisdom slows down long enough to choose direction. And financial peace grows from that kind of intentionality. Careful, consistent, weekly. That is what faithful stewardship actually looks like in practice. Every system we share on MoneyMap is one we have actually used, not read about, not heard about, used in the middle of real financial pressure. That is what makes this channel different. Not theory, experience. Every video is built the same way. Real life, real system, real results. Your action step this week: write down your fixed costs. Put everything else into one flexible pot. Add a pause before any non-essential spend. And schedule 10 minutes on the same day every week to sit with the numbers. Fixed layer, one pot, pause, weekly review. That is the whole system. And if this gave you something to work with, the next video builds on this directly. Because once you have a system that holds, the next question is where that money should actually go. Subscribe so you do not miss it. Tell me in the comments, what budgeting system have you tried before? I want to know what you have been through. Until next time, be faithful, be intentional. And remember, the plans of the diligent lead to profit,